The latest smart glasses for the blind and those with low vision. Welcome back to Techstination. I'm Fred Fishkin. Joining us from Envision in the Netherlands is Chief Technology Officer Karthik Kannan. Hi, Karthik.
Yes. Hi, Fred. Super excited to be on the show again. Thank you for having us, and excited to talk about Envision and all the cool stuff that we've been up to.
And lots of that. Before we talk about what's brand new here, for people who haven't seen us previously, our previous interviews, give us a bit of background about Envision.
So Envision is a tool that helps people who are blind and visually impaired to live more independently using artificial intelligence. So the Envision glasses are basically a pair of smart glasses which has a camera and a speaker on them that allows a visually impaired person to take images of things around them. The glasses extract information from those images and then speaks it out to the user. And information here could be anything, so a visually impaired person could be looking at a piece of text and the glasses would go ahead and recognize the text on the document and then speak it out to them. It could, information here could be the face of a person, right? So the glasses can go ahead and recognize faces of friends and family once you teach it. Information could also be, your personal belongings. The glasses are capable of recognizing, phones, keys, wallets, and all of those different personal belongings. And apart from all the AI stuff the glasses can do, it also has a video calling capability. So at any point in time, and there will be moments when the AI is not really going to come, be up to the mark, you can always go ahead and video call a friend or a family member directly from the Envision glasses. So they see your perspective because, they can see and hear you from the camera and the speakers and the microphone on the glasses, and then you can hear them from the other side. So it gives you the ability to, operate or move around in the world in a more hands-free way. So that's basically what the Envision glasses does. And the Envision app is a companion of the Envision glasses, which also does something similar. And that's available as a free app on both iOS and Android for people across the world. So that's Envision in a nutshell.
And tell us about more or less the company's reason for being, how this came about.
Well, this started about 7 years ago. Feels like 70, to be honest. In those 7 years, a lot of the stuff that's happened and, the way my life has changed. But it had started 7 years ago. I was a researcher in Bangalore. I was working in a very nascent field called artificial intelligence. Today, it's the hottest thing in the world. Back then, it was what all the geeks and nerds did, So I was working with this company that was working in artificial intelligence, very early days of artificial intelligence. And my co-founder, and, firstly, he's a really good friend of mine. His name is also Karthik. So my co-founder and my friend, he was studying in the Netherlands. He was studying industrial design. So he was a designer and I was a researcher. And we both met, or we used to really, meet very frequently. Whenever he used to come to India, we used to meet. And during one of those times when we met during his vacations, I was actually invited to a blind school in India because my friend's mother worked there as a teacher. And she said, what, you two should come and have a chat with the kids who are passing, who were leaving school, because, it would be nice for them to know about what a designer does, what a researcher does. Because usually in India, when you're born, whatever you do in life, you're only allowed to do two things. You either become a doctor or an engineer. That's the only two things that you're ever allowed to do, So she said, you guys are doing something different, and I want you to come and talk to the kids there. So we were supposed to go there after school, just spend 15 minutes talking to the kids about what it is to be a designer and a researcher. And I just told them that, a researcher or a designer is someone who just wakes up and gets paid to solve problems. I wake up in the morning, I go to office, and there is always a problem and I'm trying to solve it, And so I asked the kids there, in the most casual way possible as to what kind of problems would they like to solve when they grow up. Now, when you ask, smart, ambitious high schoolers what kind of problems would they like to solve when they grow up, you usually hear some amazing things, right? You hear things like, I want to solve cancer, I want to go to the moon, I want to go to Mars. So you hear all these really big, bold ideas because that's who you are as a teenager. But the answers I heard from the kids during my conversation were dramatically different. They were very basic things like, I want to be able to read a book more independently. I wanted to be able to live by myself. I wanted to be able to go out more independently. So it was completely opposite of what you would expect to hear from high schoolers, and that's kind of prompted me, or that kind of opened a completely different world for me, because I could see that so many things that sighted people take for granted were completely inaccessible for the visually impaired. And a lot of these kids would be spending a significant chunk of their adult lives trying to overcome the most basic of barriers that we all take for granted, right? Being able to read a book independently, for example. Printed material is completely inaccessible to someone who's visually impaired. And most of the textbooks that are there in schools and colleges, even today, aren't fully accessible for people who are blind or visually impaired. So that interaction was sort of the starting point for Envision. So we decided that, okay, us being researchers and designers, we could go ahead and build something using artificial intelligence and accessible design to make the visual world more accessible for people who are blind or visually impaired, right? So we understood that it's impossible to expect the world to change. You can't put a braille display on every visual, you can't walk with a braille display on your head all the time, right? And most visually impaired people don't know braille at all. So we needed to build a bridge between the visual world and the visually impaired, and that was what Envision is going to be, and that's what artificial intelligence basically is.
Just a terrific, terrific story. So a decade ago, Google came out with Google Glass. And today there is still the enterprise edition of that there. And I think you're building on what they've done to create this new technology. Tell me about it.
Yeah, I mean, ever since the earliest days of Envision, we've always believed that the best way to experience this technology was through smart glasses or through some kind of a wearable camera. Because if you're blind or visually impaired, you usually have a cane in one hand and a guide dog in the other hand. And so if I have to put this thing on a phone, for example, you'd have to hold these things in one hand, and then you have to point your phone in the other hand. And it was absolutely the most cumbersome experience you can imagine it to be. So we've always wanted to put this on smart glasses. But when we started the company in 2017, there was literally no smart glasses available at all. Or there were smart glasses, but then it was as good as, just strapping a camera to your face with literally nothing else, for it to be useful, right? There was no usefulness in the hardware at that time. But so what we did was we thought, okay, let's, instead of just waiting around for smart glasses to become a thing, let's just build this on a phone for now, kind of live with it for a couple of years. And then whenever the opportunity comes, we're going to just pounce and pounce on it and then start building for smart glasses. So we waited in the shadows for a couple of years. We tried a bunch of different glasses. And in 2019, we won the Google Play Award for the best accessibility app on Android. So this is an award that Google gives, all apps that are doing some amazing work in different areas. And we won it for the accessibility award, category. So I flew down to Mountain View, California, to receive the award. And for the next couple of days, I just walked all over Google campus with the award and tried to milk it as much as possible to see if I can get some audience with the powers that be at Google, and try to pitch the idea of, hey, we've got this cool tech. You guys have given us this award. So, we must be doing something right. So let's just see if you have some smart classes in the works that you can go ahead and share with us, and we can put this on smart classes and so on and so forth. And on the last day before I was leaving, I had an opportunity to talk to the person who was handling the glasses project. And just like you, I was also thinking the glasses was sort of a dead project. There was nothing really happening there. Google launched it in 2011. No one cared about it. It was too ahead of its time. So I was kind of not expecting to get much out of the meeting. But turns out that they were working on a new version of the glasses with updated hardware and everything, the latest Android OS possible. The camera was amazing. The battery life was fantastic. It had a processor that could run our AI. And I was genuinely shocked. And so I just signed whatever NDA they wanted me to sign to get a pair of glasses back with me to the Netherlands. And so that's how the Envision glasses began. So I got a pair of, unreleased versions of the Google Glass Enterprise Edition back in 2019, brought it back to Holland, spent the entire 2 weeks just holed up in my apartment trying to go ahead and get a version of the app running on the glasses. We invited people to the office and we gave them the very first pair of Envision glasses, and they absolutely loved it. In fact, I still remember one person was trying to sneakily take the glasses back home and not give it back to us. So that's when we knew, okay, we were onto something. When people are trying to steal your prototypes, that's a good sign. So then we started working on it and we launched the Envision glasses in 2020.
And I understand there are a couple of 100,000 people who are making use of the glasses now.
So the app is something that's extremely popular. That's the couple of 100,000. So the Envision app.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we made the app entirely free. So people can across the world can use it no matter what platform they're on, iOS, Android, whatever it is. We're coming out with a desktop version of it as well. And the glasses is used by more than 1,000 people across the world. So that's basically our user numbers right now. So it's more than 1,000 people from almost 30 different countries.
And growing. So now you have some new editions of the glasses arriving, and they're different. And is the difference in the software on the phone, or is it baked into the glasses? Tell me about it.
Sure. So there are two new editions of the glasses. So the first one is called the Read edition. So one of the things that people have always, told us about Envision is that they would like to have a device that's specifically aimed at reading. So one of the really good things about Envision is that it's a device that basically reads pretty much any type of text you can throw at it: handwritten text, printed text, text on a computer screen, in a digital display, whatever it is, right? So it's really good at reading text, and it reads text in more than 90 different languages. So there is a group of people who have wanted to buy the Envision glasses at a slightly reduced price with only the reading functionality built in. Their primary purpose is to read with the glasses and nothing more. And these are people who, for various reasons can't afford to pay the full price of the Envision glasses. So they go through insurance companies, and insurance companies have a cap. So most insurance companies for people who need assistive technology tools, they have a certain cap. And so what we decided was to create a read version of the glasses that puts the price of the glasses under that insurance cap, so people can get fully reimbursed for these glasses via insurance, use them for reading purposes. And at any point in time, they feel like, oh, I'd like to go ahead and upgrade from the Read edition of the glasses to the standard Home edition that we sell. People can do that for a slightly marginal, price difference, right? So the Read edition of the glasses are priced at 1,899 versus the Home edition at 2,499. Now, the second aspect, or the second edition that we're launching, is the Professional edition, right? Again, here, this is aimed more at people who want to pay a one-time fee for the glasses, because usually, because what we're introducing here is people can go ahead and pay for a yearly update after their first year. We're kind of setting up the software updates in such a way that after the first year of you purchasing the glasses, there is an annual fee that you pay to get updates of the glasses. The glasses are still usable even if you don't pay updates. You just pay for the new updates that come out. And the Professional edition is basically a one-time fee for the glasses, where you just pay that fee and you get updates for the lifetime of the device, right? So these are the two new editions that we're launching. There is no difference in the hardware. It's purely the way the software is packaged. So we have one edition that's kind of coming under the insurance cap, where people can go ahead and use it for just reading, and then the other Professional edition comes with 2 years of warranty as against 1 year of warranty. It comes with a lifetime update, lifetime worth of software updates, and and it basically has priority customer support and all that. And that's aimed for people who kind of want to, have the ultimate Envision glasses experience. And this is more aimed at enterprises who feel like, okay, you know what, I want to pay a one-time fee for the device. And the updates, the cost for the updates basically help us, or the revenue that we get from the updates help us to keep developing the software without really coming into too much of a financial crunch when doing so. Like we can keep, pushing the needle on the software year on year with the updates. Yeah.
So tell us, I mean, day-to-day experience for your users. How does it change lives?
Oh, that's actually like, I mean, I could do 5 episodes about just talking about, the experiences that I've heard from users who've shared it with us. It's changed. Things have changed so much for people over the years when they use the Envision glasses, right? I have a few stories which are, very, very personal. People have shared that with us. For example, we got to know from one of the users, he's about 70 years old, and, so he was telling me that he always gets a written card from his granddaughter every year during Christmas and, on birthdays and anniversaries and things like that. He gets these cards, and usually before he got the Envision glasses, his wife was the one who was reading out these cards to him and telling him what who had written what and who had sent what and so on. And unfortunately, she passed away about a few months ago, right? And he was telling me that for Christmas, when I got cards this time, my wife wasn't around to read it, but I was able to read it with the Envision glasses. And he said, for the very first time in my life, I was actually able to go ahead and read these cards without the help of anybody else, right? I know about a story of a lady. I think she's from New York, and she was telling me how she was able to help her 5-year-old with her math, with his math homework for the first time ever since she became a parent, right? So she's like, whenever he used to come with me to get work, I always had to rely on like my husband to come back from work and help me out with the stuff. But now with the glasses, she's actually able to go ahead and read it by herself. Even the app has been like extremely impactful in countries where the glasses are still not affordable, right? So in countries like India, we hear so many students using the app to go ahead and read textbooks, prepare for exams. There have been people who've passed very difficult entrance exams and have become the first graduates in their families to get a job using the Envision app to prepare for those exams and things like that, right? Because like I mentioned, these textbooks, we're living in the 21st century, but it's still not accessible for people who are visually impaired, right? You have graphs, equations, you have all these things which textbook publishers just don't take the time to like really make them accessible. And so they've been using Envision over the years to go ahead and study for their exams and prepare for interviews and things like that. So it in a nutshell, we actually have this Slack channel in the Envision, in the Envision team. It's called Happy Users. And, my personal aim and the only thing that I work towards every day is to make sure that channel gets so spammy that people have to go ahead and mute that channel. And that's basically my aim, right? We want to have so many happy users constantly, coming onto that channel that it just gets really spammy and people are like, okay, if I have to work, I need to mute this channel and then do it. It's not there yet. It's not as spammy as I would like it to be, but that's basically what I'm working for. That's my North Star goal, basically.
Terrific. Well, we appreciate you taking the time with us. For more information, where's the best place for people to go?
The best place to go for more information is our website. It's www.letsenvision.com. That is LETSENVISION.com. So that's where you can go to find more information about us. If there's anyone who is interested in getting a free demo of the Envision glasses, you can go on our website. Like I said, letsenvision.com. You can go ahead and get a free demo of the glasses, and we'll be more than happy to walk you through all its possibilities in person or virtually. Yeah.
Congratulations on the innovations and the good work that you're doing. Karthik Kannan, thank you for spending time with us.
Thank you so much, Fred. It's always nice to come and have a chat with you about it. Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.